Thank you for coming back to the Taliesin Antiques YouTube channel. My name is Kieran Hughes Jones. I'm an antiques dealer based in South Wales. Today's video, I'm going to show you how I package a really big piece of porcelain. In this case, a big Japanese Imari porcelain charger. Huge size, I think it's about like 48 centimeters. In fact, I showed it in a previous video where I went through some Chinese and Japanese porcelain that I'd recently listed. This one is now sold for £465 there or thereabouts, plus the postage, and it's going over to the land of the free, over to the US. So it's now my responsibility to make sure that it gets there safely. So I filmed myself packaging it. I'll narrate over the top, explain to you what I'm doing, and then you tell me what you think. Let me know if you think that I've done everything I can. If there's better ways of doing it, more secure ways. Look, I've sent thousands of items now over the years, all over the world, and I would say my success rate would be 99%. Of course, I've had some issues along the way, more so when I first got started. Very rare these days I have an item that damages in the shipping process, so I'm quite confident with what I'm doing at this stage, but no one's perfect and I'm happy to learn. So have a watch of this, tell me what you think, and yeah, we'll go from there. First of all, I'm going to talk about the cardboard box itself, which is arguably the most important thing. Now you can see there it's a nice large square example. When you've got a piece of porcelain of this size, and which is quite unusual and still very delicate, it can be very difficult to find the right size box. You'll find the same with things like paintings. Now I decided to buy some good quality boxes from a local packaging company. So I bought this one along with a few others of different sizes. They're double walled, they're very easy to use. As you can see, it's just a lid on top one, and they cost around £5 each, which I think is an expense which was worth spending just to make sure you get that extra piece of quality and that extra security when you're sending something like this. So to explain what I've done so far, I've lined the bottom there with extra pieces of cardboard, and the reason for that is because the best thing you can do when packaging is actually double boxing. So that means to package your item within one box and then put that box within a larger one. Wherever you can do that, especially with delicate pieces, that's always going to be the safest way to do it. Now, it's not always possible, especially with a piece like this. There's not always going to be a smaller box that you can use. So the next best thing is to rip up some cardboard and to line the box with that cardboard to offer that extra protection. Now you can see that I'm using wallpaper as an extra bit of cushioning. Now you can use packaging peanuts, foam, just normal paper. I use wallpaper because I can buy it at car boot sales quite cheap, usually about no more than £1 a roll. So I'm just getting some extra supplies, and I should say that the unit, as you can probably see, is a mess at the minute. It's just because there's a lot coming and going currently, so hopefully I can get that sorted out soon. So there it is, there's the beautiful Imari porcelain charger, 47 centimeters in diameter or 18.5 inches. I'm just going to give it a very quick clean over, nothing extensive and nothing over the top, just to make sure there's no dust or debris on there, which in theory may possibly scratch the surface during the shipping. Now next, of course, is the bubble wrap, and I've sometimes received pieces of porcelain through the post where the seller didn't even wrap the piece in bubble wrap, which just blows my mind. As far as I'm concerned, it should always have this. Now, it should be the small bubbles. The large bubbles will not protect the piece. You could, in theory, do the small bubbles first and then wrap again with the larger bubble wrap, but you really should use the small ones first of all. And the way I do it, how I've learned to do it, is to have the bubbles on the outside, so the flatter side touching the piece. That's how I understand it should be done. Let me know what you think. Another bit of advice I had early on was to use as a rule of thumb to wrap the piece, and this is every part of the piece, about 5 times, or at least 5 times, and that is the best way to protect the item. As far as I'm concerned, use as much bubble wrap as you can and what you can within the box. I try and make sure that supplies or materials are not a problem. I don't want to be thinking, oh, I've only got a certain amount of bubble wrap left, so I'll use less on this piece. I'd rather just make sure I have absolutely loads of it and just wrap everything as much as I possibly can. Now again, with a piece of this size, just as a little bit of extra precaution, it's good practice just to sellotape it down. That's the bubble wrap to the piece. but you are sellotaping bubble wrap to bubble wrap, not to the item itself. It's just to make sure that it just stays in place and doesn't move around too much. The bubble wrap was a bit fiddly on this one. I don't think I took it out properly and did it, in the clean way, but it went round quite tightly and I achieved the 5 times, which I was happy with. Now, this foam is not something I usually use. I just received it in another package I had, so I thought I'd just give it a go, just as a, just use that instead of the wallpaper. But I just found it was just not fitting as nicely, so I decided not to go with it in the end. Okay, so far I've done the layering and cushioning on the bottom. I've wrapped the porcelain itself in the bubble wrap 5 times. Next, I'm doing the cushioning around the sides and around the edges. If you look around the bubble wrap now where the porcelain is, there's at least 10 centimeters between it and the edge. So there's a bit of gap to fill, and it's good to have that gap as well and to have some filler just to make sure that there is some more cushioning. So I'm using bubble wrap. After that, I'll use cardboard as well, just around the edges, and that's to, as I mentioned before, to create that double box effect. As I'm doing that, I thought I would talk about where I get my cardboard boxes from. So I mentioned this particular one I'm using is one I've bought, particularly for large pieces and for things like paintings. Now, most items I sell are smaller and don't require such a bespoke box. Now, I have a local company that I found through Facebook Marketplace. They were giving away or did an advert saying that they had free boxes. I went around and collected them. And then we both realised that actually they're looking to get rid of boxes. I'm looking to get boxes all the time. So every month now they just give me a ring or a text and I just go around there and collect their boxes. So if you can get this sort of arrangement, brilliant, especially if you're in the reseller world. So have a look out there. There's a lot of companies that use a lot of packaging, and you all each one of you benefits from that arrangement then. Some of the boxes I get from this company are broken or just not strong enough, so I will just use them for packaging like I'm doing here. Hopefully you can see from the video that I'm not offering shortcuts here. It does take time, there is a lot of effort, and there can be expense. So if you're put off by any of those things, you're better off not buying pieces like this, because if it's not done properly, they will get damaged in the post. Especially antiques, if they survived 100 years and they just get damaged by poor packaging, that really is a shame. So if you are going to buy pieces like this with the intention of selling it and moving it on, think in advance, think about the box you're going to use, the materials you're going to use, and just be ready to have it packaged and ready to go. So I'm pretty much now coming to the end of the packaging within the box. I've used the wallpaper for cushioning, I've used the extra cardboard to create that double box effect. Importantly, what you're trying to achieve is to make sure that the item itself doesn't move within the box. It's completely locked into place, it's really firm and cushioned in there, so that it'll just stay in place now throughout the shipping process. Even if it's thrown around or disregarded by the shipping company, it's going to be safe within there. So the final thing for me to do now is to seal the box into place with sellotape, using multiple layers across all the edges just to make sure it's completely reinforced and stays sturdy. As I mentioned before, what you want to achieve is just to make sure that the piece is not moving around within the box. So I'm going to go around it with fragile tape. Now, the thing about fragile tape is, as everyone probably knows, the shipping company is not really going to take into consideration or treat your box any better because of it, but it's probably best to use it just so your buyer feels happy that you've done everything you can to make sure that it's looked after and it gets to them securely. So just as I'm finishing up, I just thought I'd leave a message saying that if you're new to the channel, I'm an antiques dealer and I've done lots of different videos about the antiques trade, so go back and have a look at them. Even better, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel, like the videos, engage with it, but through comments, all that stuff. It just helps me boost the channel up the YouTube algorithm. And if you've done all those things already, thank you so much. I've got new videos coming soon, so keep an eye out for them for when they drop. Okay, well that's all done now, so I'm really happy with that. I think it's very well protected, plenty of cushioning, doesn't move at all inside there, which is exactly what you want. Look, barring something crazy happening during the shipping process, where I don't know, they put tons of stuff on there which they shouldn't do, that is completely safe now. I've done everything I can to protect it on that shipping journey. It's up to the shipping company now to make sure that they hold up their end as well. I mean, I could go outside and throw this around if I wanted to. I don't, but if I did, it would be perfectly safe in there. So there we go. That's how I package a big piece of porcelain, a huge charger like that. And let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time. Thank you.